what they said.
Coming up on today's show, Naomi shares her thoughts on common interests between partners in Wifey Lifey.
In Lou's dating diary, she shares her views on what makes the perfect online dating profile and an update on her most recent date.
We ask the big question, what expectations should one have during and after a first date?
We give an overview on what it's really like to date a Scorpio.
Plus, we find out what happened to our new perfect match couple. All that and more in today's show. Woo! Welcome to the show. I can't believe the response that we got from our last episode.
It was phenomenal. Blew it out of the water.
I mean, look, I don't think we're ever going to get sponsorship from Snapchat anytime soon.
Don't think so.
But anyway, we hope that last episode was a help for you, especially with the red and green flags. And we've got another jam-packed episode for you today as well. Don't we, Naomi?
Let's get into it, Lou.
Let's do it.
Wifey Lifey.
For your weekly segment, what would you like to talk about this week?
Well, this week I'd like to share with everybody, or our audience, about common interests with our partners and what, and that's really important, I guess, in moving forward, the things that you do like to do together. For me, when I was on sort of like dating sites, I used to sort of like do a bit of a 20 questionnaire. That was
wow,
but it wasn't serious, and it was something like, do you like creamy pasta sauce or tomato sauce?
Okay.
Right? Do you like Thai food or Japanese food?
Yeah.
That type of thing. Because, like and it comes down to food that you like. If you do like similar food, that's always handy.
That helps, yeah, especially on the first date. Somebody's going to
Totally.
Where do you want to eat? Oh, should we go to a curry house? And you're like, no,
I can't handle spice.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that wouldn't work. So common interest is a big thing, to sort of like things that you like to try out together as well.
What would you say to people who say, well, that's cool, but it'd be good to get out of your comfort zone. So maybe somebody may not have a common interest to you. Like, say somebody likes rock climbing, and that's not really your bag, but you like the look of that person. That everything else sort of aligns. Would you, say go for it? Would you, or do you think, is it important? How important?
Well, it depends on what it is too. Like food is an important thing. Rock climbing.
Yeah, we live on food.
Yeah, that's right. So you've got to eat. But, rock climbing, I think it's just one of those things that if you've got a partner who does enjoy doing an activity that you're not familiar with, and it's something that you want to connect and sort of like broaden your skills, that might be a good thing. But if you're somebody who is not an outdoor person at all, then that could be an issue, I think. Sometimes, spending time together as a couple is an important thing, and so building up on those relationships. So I think that if you don't share the common interests, that you do come with an open mind.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important. I mean, there's some people who, they want to spend with their partners, they want to do everything together. So it's kind of like, yes, I enjoy hiking, I enjoy, riding bikes, etc. And they sometimes they do want someone who they can share that experience with and do it often. So I think you're right. I think it is important that you at least have some.
Yep. And sometimes, it might be a skill that you want to develop together. So, for us, the Latin dancing is one, so my partner is actually, one of his thing is to actually learn how to do that, and for me it's something that I've enjoyed in the past, so I'm happy to take up that activity again. So that's something that we're working on. But
that's pretty good.
Yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing. If you don't have the common interests, to have an open mind about whether you want to actually do it. If it's something that's totally against what you're interested in doing, then sometimes I think while it's okay with the differences in the beginning, I think it might be an issue a bit later down the track.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think especially even in the dating sphere, I see people who are like, oh, must be into keeping fit. I run like 5,000 miles a day. I'm like X, Y, and Z, and I'm looking for something similar to that. And I'm like, okay, that person's not for me because I'm not that person. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a slob. But it's funny because you still get people that will swipe right on you. Like, and I'm like looking at this going, because sometimes I do pay for the dating apps, and I look and see who swipes, right on me. And I look at it and I'm like, this person is like this triathlete person, right? I'm more a triathlete when it comes to like going to get snacks, my Netflix, and and the remote control type thing. Right, that's my like.
That's your triathlon
That's
event.
Exactly. And I'm just like, okay, so that's why it's interesting you talking about common interests, because do you think that we're at a place now, potentially it could be our ages, where we're not really looking at common interests? Do you think that may be a reason why we're not finding our partners, or do you think it's also indicative of the fact that we are a bit more open-minded?
I think at this stage in your sort of like in your late 30s, 40s, you're at to the point where you actually know what you like and what you don't like. So I can respect, I guess, people, what they like to do or what their beliefs are and stuff like that. I might not align with it. I've learned to move on and sort of like accept that for the person that they are. Political views is another one that sort of like you can have a partner who can respectfully debate with you if you're on opposing sides and debate on the issues at hand as opposed to the person representing those political views.
Yes.
And so long as it doesn't get to become a personal attack. Even religious views. Because that's the other thing that, being in a multicultural society, we do have people with all different ethnic and cultural backgrounds, that if you do decide to date somebody with a religious belief that's not in common with you, are you happy to accept those differences? Or do you expect them to convert?
That's absolutely fair. No, definitely. And, I think it is definitely important to have those common interests. I mean, I'm finding that out right now. Life's too short. You should go out and enjoy it.
Yep.
Go out and spend time with people that is your tribe and people that, that has that common interest with you and have some fun, I think.
Yeah. And if they can laugh about it, that and the same type of humour is the other one that sort of like always will go a long way.
Lou's dating diary.
Yes, so my dating diary this week has been crazy. I've just had a couple of dates, which are, you probably have read about on the Sydney Friends group on Facebook. If you haven't joined, please go join. Wait until after you listen to the podcast and then go over and read about my escapades there. But one big thing that I've noticed about dating, especially in my 40s, now is dating profiles. And a lot of people have actually asked me this on the group. Like, how important is dating profiles? I mean, because they seem to read my escapades and they're like, you seem to have a lot of people coming after you. Like, what do you think is attracting you? And I genuinely think it's what you put on your profile. And, because that is a snapshot of who you are.
It's probably the other person's first impression of you.
Yeah.
And it's important to give them as much of an accurate representation as possible, whether they be in profile pictures or information that you provide on the page.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I mean, some of my tips for a good dating profile is definitely say, your interests. Put some of your common interests down in there. Say, who you are. Like, for example, on my dating profile, I say, look, I am quite corporate. I work in the CBD, but I'm also artsy and I'm quirky. I play the drums. I'm a musician. You've got to put all that stuff in there. Yes, I know with profiles, in some profiles, especially like I think Tinder, you only got a certain amount of like
characters that you can put in there.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to think about what is the best things about you that you want to highlight.
Yeah, that's right. Because you're whether we like to say it or not, we are competing. If you're a female, you're competing with other females, and if you're a man, you're competing with other males on the market. So it is important just to sort of like be really selective of the words that describe yourself, and also in the profile pictures. The profile pictures is a perfect example.
And I think we talked about that last week with with the photos that truly represent yourself.
Yep.
I also would say have a good headshot in there. Have a full body. I know, and look, I know people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be about somebody's looks, etc." But unfortunately, people do. It's
we
who
all
you
have
are.
a type, I think.
Yeah, we all have a type.
We all have a type, and we all have sort of like a type of personality that we look for, a physicality that we look for.
And it's not body shape. We're not trying to body shape. We're just saying you got to show a snapshot of you, your authentic you.
Yeah, and no filtered shots.
Yeah, no filtered shots.
The other thing that
a group of friends.
Yes. multiple groups of people. So it's not a where's Wally competition.
I know, right?
Hang on, I have to find the guy who's in this first picture and also the second picture. It's just too stressful for me.
And supposing you like that guy on that photo, I mean, you turn up and it's not that guy and it's his mate and you're like, oh, awkward.
That's right.
You know?
So having a picture of yourself, a good portrait picture of yourself, like you said.
Yeah.
A body shot.
Yeah.
I like to have an active outdoor shot.
Yeah.
They don't have to be a triathlete, but like if they're bushwalking or they're an outside.
See, I call it, I do it like an out in the wild, and that out in the wild pic could be outside doing something like hiking,
gardening.
Or gardening.
Yeah.
In my case, I put down, so I do a lot of speaking and events, etc. So I put that down.
Yeah.
A picture of that.
Yep.
And also pets. I'd say if you've got
not
pets,
a sleeping tiger.
no, God, no. Yeah.
Or another fish.
Or
photo.
riding turtles or something.
Yeah.
Like, other than your dogs and your cats. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I like people with pets.
Yeah, me too.
So that's always showing they've got a nurturing side and
also in your profile, just write down. Sometimes it's good to write down what you're looking for. So not just necessarily like I am X, Y, and Z, but it's also good to say I am looking for a fellow parent, for example, a fellow dog lover.
someone who enjoys dining out.
Yes.
Or, like the theatre or the musical and stuff like that. No more partners in crime.
Oh, God, yes. Can you stop with the partners in crime, please?
Yeah.
I know we talked about it last week, but I've seen still more on Tinder and Bumble and
More partners in crime.
More partners in crime, and we told you to stop it. Okay, so stop it.
What else? No toilet pictures.
Oh, God. What?
I never understood that. Why, of all the places in the world you can take photos, why a public toilet? I don't understand. Can somebody please tell me?
Yeah, can
if
you
you
stop?
do have any ideas, please let us know.
Yeah. Join in the conversation, join in the discussion on Sydney Friends, on our Facebook group.
Or follow us on Instagram, Sydney Friends.
And post on there what are some of your do's and don'ts in your profiles and dating apps.
Question of the week.
What are the expectations on the first date?
That is a brilliant question because everyone is quite kind of, they don't know. I mean, look, I went on a few dates and it was like that Mr. Great First Date guy that I went out with.
Yeah.
And we had a lovely date, and straight after he texted me and I texted him back saying thank you. And then it was like crickets.
Yep.
And then I texted him back again like 2 days later saying, hey, with an in-joke that we had during that day. And I got nothing.
Yep.
And then another 3 days, I thought, benefit of that, it's busy, etc. I did reached out again and saw that he read all the messages that I said.
Yep.
And nothing. So I was like,
what happened? And that was a good first date.
It was a great first date.
So
and
what do you do? What do you do on a first date? What is your ideal first date? Have you got an expectation in mind? Do you call it a meet and greet or do you actually call it a first date?
Well, I was speaking to a couple of people when I was out last night, and one person said to me, they don't necessarily classify a first date as a date. They classify it as a meet and greet.
Yeah.
Me personally, I classify it as a date because, it's how I was not necessarily brought up, but in the environment that I've lived in, especially in the UK, I call it as a date. Call it whatever you find is comfortable for you. For me, it's an opportunity to potentially meet someone you want to, date.
Yeah. And do you have a meal together or do you sort of like see how it goes? Do you go for a walk?
I like to see how it goes. I like the less pressure. This is a very highly pressurized situation, right? Do you really want to meet someone on a first date when it's dinner?
Yep.
Right, and you're sat there and it's awkward as hell.
Yep.
And like you're waiting for food and stuff, and you're like, and you're like, we've got to pay for this food, and now we've got to stay here. And it's like, what? It's just too much, right?
There's a lot of pressure.
I would like to go for drinks and maybe potentially in a bar like Bella Vista Hotel where, if you're hungry and stuff and it's going really, really well, you can order food.
Yep.
You know, and prolong that date.
Yep.
I wish I can listen to my own advice because I'm going on a date where they booked a festival.
Okay.
And it's like 3 hours. There's food and dancing and stuff. So, yeah. And that's the
When's
first
that?
date. That's tonight. So next week you'll hear all about that. And that's probably going to be a dumpster fire.
A whole festival.
Yes.
So
look, I
this
wasn't
this is your first date?
first date, yeah.
Wow. Festival.
And yeah.
And is it a music festival?
It's a Latin festival.
Oh, a Latin festival.
So it's a good job that I'm going to these Latin classes now,
Yes,
and then
yes.
I could bust some moves.
Yep. You'll be ready for tonight. That's awesome. An activity on the first date is always good.
Yeah, true.
You know, like a walk.
Yeah.
Like walking the
Going
dog
to
together.
a salsa festival dance.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think that it sort of like breaks down a little bit of that awkwardness because you're doing an activity.
And this is why, even on my Hinge, you know, they give you prompts. They say, what would a first date look like? On my ones, I said, do a sip and paint.
Oh, yeah.
Sip and paint date.
Yep. And if the date was going really bad, more sips than paint.
Exactly, you know.
Yep.
The second option that I had on there was an escape room.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
they're
you know,
always fun.
because you can literally escape as well. Like, you can
You've
say-
only got an hour.
You know, and you could also just like not necessarily lie, but if it isn't going well, you can try and well, you can't actually leave the escape room. You're in a room with them, innit?
You're stuck.
So you're stuck.
So you're going to have to work extra fast
Yes, you do
to
And-
escape the
exactly.
escape room.
And the third option that I put in there was to elope.
Right.
And in brackets, I wrote jokes. And bizarrely enough, not anyone has picked that option.
Do you wonder why?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that can be scary and intimidating for some men.
What, eloping?
Yeah, especially on the first date. So how soon after you match do you actually agree to a first date?
I think it varies though, because look, we all live busy lives, and I mean, I think within the week or so. But again, it depends on how if you're busy, if they're busy, if they're on holiday. Like for example, the artist that I'm meeting, it's taking a while. The artist that I'm meeting, he's on hold, and I won't get to meet him until he's back. But then again, CEO 2, we as I said in last week's episode, he was quite quick.
Yep.
So it was literally 4 days. It was like, I had a chat and then we're going out on this festival.
Yeah, and some people do actually like to meet really soon as well, because then they find that they're not endlessly engaging in conversations that goes for weeks.
I don't want a pen pal,
Yeah, that's right.
you know?
You know, like endless texting.
And it hurts. You just text them with your fingers.
Thumbs.
Like thumbs, you know, like...
Thumbs RSI, right? And then you've got the other end of the scale where they talk for weeks and they don't want to meet.
Yeah, but that's a red flag. Like, we were talking about red flags in last week's episode. And for me, if they're just wanting to be your pen pal, it's just weird, right? I mean, surely you want to progress to the next level. You want someone in your life, and that includes...
Meeting
you know,
up in real person.
Exactly.
Right?
We're not living in like George and England, Jane Austen type thing where we're having to, have this etiquette and stuff. It's like, no, it's...
Endless SMS ping pong
Yeah, exactly.
is probably not the way to go.
What are some of your thoughts? Go on our Facebook group and put some of your thoughts and opinions on there.
Star-crossed lovers.
So this week we're going to explore what it's like to date a Scorpio.
Yes.
What are some of the common traits, Louise?
Well, look, Scorpios are a water sign. They're very loyal. They love deep. They really love deep. Look, Scorpions are lovely, lovely people, but they can get... I don't want to say clingy. They're not clingy. It's kind of... Somebody said it to me because they were a Scorpio, so I'm not just trying to bag out Scorpios here. But she said, you know that woman at a Fatal Attraction?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a Scorpion woman. Like
okay.
they will love deep, and they will go do
Very
anything.
devoted and very passionate.
Yeah, and they will do anything to get that person.
They are known to have very intense personalities
That's exactly.
and
Yeah.
sometimes can be often confused with vibrant fire signs.
It's just because that they do care so deeply, and if you do cross them, you don't ever cross a Scorpion because they will like come back and bite you. They will
Their stinger.
with their stinger. They won't forget. Treat a Scorpion woman with respect, and a Scorpion man too. Like, don't play with them.
And great sensitivity.
Yeah, they're very sensitive, and then that goes. And we'll go into it in a few episodes' time with water signs. But Scorpions are, they're very loyal. They make good friends. They will have your back. But as I said, don't cross them.
Perfect match.
So here we are with our second perfect match couple, Christina and Louis. Say hello.
G'day, how are you?
So I guess the first question is, how was it? How's Bella Vista Hotel?
I loved it. I've been here before and the food's always been great and it just didn't disappoint today. We were even able to share some of our olives with you both.
Yeah, the olives are lovely.
Oh, no, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's such an awesome venue.
So Louis?
Very laid back, very easy to talk to people here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it takes the edge off.
So thank you so much, both of you, for joining in this segment. We really appreciate you being so brave.
Don't know about brave.
And I think it was a good opportunity for us to bring some of our members from Sydney Friends out. It's always good to see people online and interacting online, but the other part is to actually meet people and build connections. So we're really pleased that you guys can make it and really trusting Louise with the process because she was actually in charge of matching you guys up.
Yeah, I went through our scientifically in-depth questions that we asked and, and matched you guys together. And what was your first impressions?
Of each other, yeah.
Well, I was nervous initially because I thought I was stood up by 3 people.
Oh my God, yes.
We both did.
Thanks, Sydney Metro.
So at first I'm like, oh my God.
Where did they go?
Where did they go? How
All
much
these
longer?
people ghosted me.
But when I met, when I saw Louis and the both of you, I felt really at ease and Louis had a very nice calming energy, so it was good.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. It was very comforting when Chris said, she felt at ease.
Yep.
And that sort of stopped me, just took me back down a notch.
Yeah. I
is good.
think it's always hard dating in our 40s or 50s and post-separation or divorce or what have you. There is so much to overcome as well, and I think there's a lot of sometimes it can be quite scary.
And also, I mean, it's a blind date, right? It's not like
Yes.
you had any interaction beforehand, like on apps or etc. It's like literally throwing yourselves out and going, hey.
And it didn't help when we actually said don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know. I'm like, oh my God, I can't confide in anyone. So I confided in my mum.
Oh, good on you.
What did you tell your mum? What did she say?
She laughed. She thought it was very cute. She says, it's very out of your comfort zone, Chris, because I don't normally do
No, I
things
think
like
it's
this.
yeah. Oh, thank you for
See,
praising
that's awesome.
us.
So,
Yeah, the blind date thing, I said it to Chris while we were talking. That was the hardest part to overcome. I sat in that foyer for about 20 minutes and just
I was
eyeing out
psyching
everyone
yourself up.
walking in and just wondering, is she the one? Is she the one?
When you did get together, like, how was it? How was the general date? Obviously, Bella Vista Hotel shouted out some lovely food with it. Was that helpful? Was that nice for you?
yeah, it was really nice. The conversation flowed nicely and we seemed to have a lot of things in common.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hat buying.
hang on.
Calm down.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it was very, very, very nice and easy. Very nice to talk to her.
Yeah, it was very nice to talk to Louise, yeah.
Okay, awesome. And I guess the big question and why we're all here is, would you guys see each other again?
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. And we haven't bribed you guys either. So,
It would be nice. It would be
It would
nice
be very
to-
nice.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, see, hats.
Our questions work.
I know. Look, and I said this in the last episode. Naomi humoured me with matching all the couples up, with some of the questions that we asked, and also the star signs as well. And we just wanted to see if there was like any scientific kind of thing that goes with it. And you're a Virgo, Christina, and you're a Capricorn, Earth signs. So we just wanted to see if that would kind of work, and it looked like it sort of did.
I think so. And, like the couple of things they had in common, beach
Yes.
holidays, their favourite vegetable wasn't a line, but,
Oh, what was it? Can you still make a stew out of it, though?
maybe a good soup.
Oh, okay. Well,
A sweet potato and the broccoli.
I can't remember what my favourite vegetable was. What did I put down?
I think sweet potato.
No, I think I would.
Oh, you were the sweet potato. No, you're the broccoli.
Oh, broccoli, yeah.
Yeah, you can't make a stew or a soup out of
Oh,
it.
you can make a soup.
What, broccoli and sweet potato soup?
Oh, well.
Oh, it's a new thing. All right, it's going to be the new trend.
We'll find a way.
Yes. Exactly. Well, look, thank you, Louis, and thank you, Christina, for coming in. And
Thank you for having me. And
Yeah, thanks for being such great sports about
Yep,
it,
and thank you.
and let us interview you after.
I know, right?
That's the daunting part. I told Chrissy we'll sit out here for another few hours, make them wait.
I can't. Yeah, that's what we deserve, really. That's right. Well, thank you ever so much, and join us again next week for our next couple on Perfect Match. Well, Naomi, I can't believe what a chockers episode that was yet again.
The time has gone so quick.
We have so much fun doing this, and I can't believe that we get to do this every week.
I'm looking forward to our next discussion.
Next week, you give your thoughts on the importance of friendship between lovers in Naomi's Wifey Lifey.
And Lou, you're going to give us an update on your hilarious dating life. And we'd be calling in the Ghostbusters next week for all the ghosters out there in Lou's dating diary.
We ask the big question, can men and women ever just be friends?
And we give an overview of what it's really like to date a Cancer.
Plus, we meet our latest perfect match couple and get all the dirt on their date.
See you next week.
Bye! Thanks for listening to What They Said, recorded at the Hills Podcast and Video Room located at Bella Vista Hotel. Editing by Chris Walewski. Music by Danny Muller. Content written and produced by Naomi Chow and Louise Palmer.